Alright, let's try this. I wasn't going to make a video, but I'm doing it now. So it's a little bit late. So if you didn't watch today, you can watch tomorrow. Hopefully you did alright regardless. So first problem. A delivery person uses a service elevator. So I'm going to delete this because it seems like, not too many of you. I'm just going straight for the equation. So a delivery person uses a service elevator to bring boxes of books up to an office. The delivery person weighs 160 pounds. So imagine an elevator here, right? This is the elevator. There's this gentleman over here. And then he also wants to bring boxes, right? So we just don't know how many boxes he can fit. But we know the total here. The elevator has a capacity of 1,000 pounds. So how many boxes can we bring in? Well, if you look at the work, if you look at the problem, this is going to be our constant, right? It's going to be this, our 160 pounds is our constant value. That's not going to change. What's going to change is it's going to be the number of boxes here, right? So we have a relationship here that each box is 50 pounds, so 50 pounds per box. And then we're going to be, you can write whatever letter you want. And all that has to equal 1,000. So if you think about it, 1,000 is equal to the 160 pounds that the gentleman weighs, with one arm apparently, and plus as many boxes, as many 50-pound boxes that can be put into the elevator. So that's my equation. We're not, does it say right? Well, I didn't ask you to solve it. I just asked you to, write the equation. We'll get back to the solving later. Which actually I'll do it now so I don't have to make a second video on that. So, so again, if you want to, you can make that little story. Here's my variable b is being multiplied by 50 and then plus 160, right? And then equals 1,000. Going backwards, we're going to do minus 160, and then we're going to divide both sides by 50. So change colors. So I'm going to do minus 160, minus 160. These two go away because it's 0. I get 50b equals 140. I'm going to divide both sides by 50. And that's going to be 1. And b equals 840 divided by 50. I have no idea. It's not going to be an exact number. So it's going to be 840 divided by 50. It's going to give us 16.8. Right, so B is 16.8, but in the context of this story, I can't bring 16.8 boxes, so the answer is going to be, so the number of boxes equals 16, okay, because I can't bring more, right, I can't bring an eighth of a box, or eight-tenths of a box, okay. 2, again, I'm going to remove this thing away, because you don't need it. You have $16 in a coupon for $5 at a local supermarket. You buy a bottle of olive. You buying bottle of olive costs $7. How many bottles? So what we need to find out is the number of bottles. So here is my variable. I'll write B for bottles. And is there a relationship between the number of bottles? Yes, there is. I know that each bottle is 7, so that's my first part. And all that has to equal 16. That we're missing a part here, right? It's going to be either plus or minus a constant if it's a two-step equation. And in this case, it's going to be a minus because I'm receiving a discount. So I go to the supermarket, I buy however many bottles, and each bottle is $7. And then I get a discount of $5, and it ends up costing me 16 bucks. So how many bottles can I take home? Well, again, you can do your story. My variable is a b. It's being times 7, and then minus 5 equals 16. Going backwards is going to be plus 5, and then divided by 7. So the first thing I'm going to do is plus 5 here. Plus 5 here. It's going to give me 21. These two go away, and 7b equals 21. Divide by 7. Divide by 7. B equals 3. So that means I can bring how many bottles? I can buy 3 bottles of olive oil. Nice and simple. 4. 2 college friends rent an apartment. They have to pay the landlord 2 months' rent and then a $500 security deposit when they sign the lease. The total amount they pay the landlord is $2,080. So you can start filling. I know the total is $2,080. They have to pay 2 months rent. So they're gonna pay 2 months of rent. Here's my relationship. And then plus they're also gonna give a 500 security deposit. And the security deposit is just in case, you break something or the landlord has to replace something after you leave, so that covers whatever damages that you may incur. Okay, so here's my equation, and I need to know. So what this says that here's my $500 plus I gave them 2 months rent. Right, this is the 2 months rent. How much rent did you give your landlord? How much what is the landlord charging you per month? And that's what we're trying to find out. Okay, so basically, I mean, if you think about it, and without doing the equation, you gave the landlord 2,800, right? So if you take away the 500 that's for the deposit, you end up having 2,300. What does the 2,300 represent? The 2,300 represents 2 months of rent, right? So if you divide that by two, you get 1,150. So each month of rent equals 1,050, and that's, you know, but showing work as an equation, right? The first thing we do is minus 500 here, minus 500 here, and then we get 2,300. This goes away, and I get 2R, right? We divide both sides by 2, and guess what you get? 1,150, which is what we got doing it, in a more direct way. But R in this case, so the rent each month that you're paying is 1,150. For a contractor, no, that's not what I want to do. Do we, what is this? Oh, okay. So a contractor is adding a back porch to a house. The porch needs to hold 20 people and a furniture that weighs 20. So here's your porch, I guess, right? Here's your porch in the back of your house, right? So this is the back of your house, right? This is your house, your kitchen, and people are going this way. So in this porch right here, right, you need to hold you need to hold what is this? There's gonna be some furniture. So I mean, let's draw a sofa, for example. Here's a sofa, and that sofa weighs 250 pounds. And I'm gonna change colors, and I'm gonna put some people here. All right. So on that porch, you want to hold however many people in that porch. So you need to hold 20 people. Okay. So I can't draw 20 people. So there's gonna be 20 people on the porch plus that furniture. So do we know how much each people weigh or what the contractor used as the weight per person? Well, we don't know, but I do know one thing, that whole structure here, this has to weigh 3,750. And it can hold 3,750. A lot of it, it's 250 pounds. That's for the furniture. So the rest, the 20 people, has to be multiplied by a certain weight, right? So 20 people multiplied by a weight that the contractor assumed they would each have, plus 250 pounds for that sofa, it's going to give us 3,750. Okay, so sorry about my drawing. So here's my variable W, which is being multiplied by 20 and then added to 250. And then going backwards, it's going to be minus 250 and then divide by 20. So doing this, first thing we're going to do is get rid of that 250, right? So it's minus 250 here, minus 250 here. These two adios, 20W comes down, and that equals to 3,500. And then we're going to divide both sides by 20. And W, it's going to be 175. So each person that it's on the porch here, the 20 people, each person weighs 175 pounds. Okay, my music selection is pretty bad today, so I'm going to switch it in a second. Okay, little better. So moving on. Yeah, it was wrong. Okay, and I'm gonna stop this again. Okay. Much better. Where am I? So 5. So you have to, and I guess it's tough. Some of these questions are tough because you never rent a car, or you're never paying for anything. So some of these questions that require you to be in that situation, it's hard. So, nevertheless, let's see what we can do. So number 5 says you are members of a car sharing program, pay a fee of $50 per month plus $77.65 for every hour they rent a car. So if a member's bill was $149.45, how many hours did he use the car last month? So again, remember, you're gonna pay $50 no matter what, and for that $50, it gives you the right to rent a car. But once you hop into the car, you also have to pay $7.65 for every hour. So you're paying $50 no matter what. So if you rent a car or don't rent a car that month, you pay $50. So it's guaranteed that you're going to pay $50, right? So it's something plus $50, and you ended up paying $149.45 last month. So along with the $50 for being a member, what else did you pay? You paid $7.65 per hour that you rented the car. So how many hours did you drive around if you ended up paying $149.45? And that's our equation that we're going to use. So we're going to, here's my variable h, which is being multiplied by 7.65 and then plus 50 equals 149.45. Going backwards, we're going to do minus 50 on both sides and then divide by 7.65. So minus 50, minus 50. This goes away, 765h comes down, and this is going to be 99.45. And then we do divide by 7.65 and divide by 0.765. And so the number of hours that we were driving around, divided by 7.65. Oh my god. 99.45. So you know what? For Christmas, I want a calculator. 99.45 divided by 7.65. Because using my iPhone, not really working. There we go, 13. So how many hours did that person drive? Well, drove 13 hours. Right, that makes sense, right? So says fare charges $77.25 for admission and $5.50 for a ride pass. I don't know what that means. Maybe to get to go on the rides, you have to pay $5.50. 10 friends went to the fair. Not all of them went on the rides, and they ended up spending $105.50. How many of those friends bought the ride passes? Well, one thing is for sure. If they all went to the fair, they all then paid $7.25. So I'm going to do $7.25 times 10, which means it's $72.50. So we know for sure that to get in, all 10 of them, they paid this much. So the total was $105.50. I know they paid to get in, right? Because they all went in. So once they were in, did everybody get on the ride? No. So $5.50 per ride. So we need to figure out how many ride passes. Right? So you could have used R or P. So how many ride passes were purchased? So first we do minus 72.50 minus 72.50 This goes away. 550 comes down. 550R, by the way. And 105.50, that's going to be a 0.0003 and 10 minus 7. So $33 is going to be left over. Divide by 550, divide by 550. And 33 divided by 550 equals 6. So out of the 10 people, 6 of them bought a ride pass. Okay. 7. Uh-oh. 7. A cafeteria sells entrees and additional items. An entree costs $4.70. Entrees is a main dish, right? So like French fries, all the French fries, salad would be side dishes. The main dish would be like, I don't know, a bowl of pasta or fish or steak or chicken. So a customer pays $9.75 for one entree and some additional items. So imagine you pay $9.75 and it says you paid for one entry. So you know you got one main dish. How many little side things did you buy? Well, I know that each side thing is $125. And 125 times, and let's call them A for additional. So how many of these additional items were you able to purchase? Because your total was $9.75, right? So here's my variable A. It's being multiplied by 125, add 475, and then 9.75. Going backwards, we're going, so this was times and this was plus. We minus 4.75 and then divided by 1.25. Alexa, set timer, 9 minutes. So minus 4.75, minus 4.75, right? So basically we're removing the entree. So this goes away. 1.25A comes down. So you paid $9.75. $4.75 was the entree. So let's subtract that, which means you spent $5 on side dishes. So how many side dishes were you able to buy if each of them was $125? Divide by 125, divide by 125, and A equals 4. So you got one entree and 4 little side dishes. And that's what you're doing here. And by God, please tell me that this is being recorded, and it is. Okay. 8. Uh-oh. 8. An appliance repair person charges $55 per trip plus $15 per hour for her labor. So you have a problem with your fridge or your drying machine or dryer. So to call a person, in this case this person, she says, I'll come over to your house to fix whatever problem with the machine. I'm going to charge you $55 just to get there. Okay, I'm not even going to fix anything, but I'm already charging you $55. Then on top of it, she's going to charge you $15 per hour that she works there. So how many hours does she actually work there to repair the stove? If you're total, if you end up paying her $92.50, how many hours does she work for you? Well, the $92.50 that you paid her was made up of what? Well, it was made up for sure you gave her $55. This includes the trip for her to get to your place. $55. Plus, what else did you pay her for? Well, the $92, well, she also worked. You also paid her $15 per hour, right? That's my equation. $15 per however many hours she worked, plus $55 for the trip to get to your house, equals this, which was the total that you paid her. So you're going to do minus 55, minus 55. That makes sense, right? Because the total was $92.50. We're going to subtract the trip, the cost of her trip to get to your house. That's 50. 12 minus 5 is 7. 8 minus 5 is... 8 minus 5 is what? 37. That becomes 0, and we bring 15h down. So we're going to divide both sides by 15. And h is going to be 2, and I don't know. So 37.5 divided by 15 equals 2.5. So exactly the 2.5 means that she worked at fixing whatever equipment, in this case your stove, for 2.5 hours. Okay. Okay, cell phone. So Shelly has a cell phone, and she's going to pay $9.99 per month. So here's the thing you have to understand. In this case, you're gonna pay $9.99 no matter what, just to have the phone. And on top of that, you're gonna pay 5 cents per minute. That's where the cell phone company makes the money. So if at the end of the month you get a bill for $25.59, how many minutes did you talk, or she talk? Well, out of the 25.59, this much was just there for having the phone, right? So every month you're paying $9.99 just to, I don't know, get connection to the company, and then it says that you're going to pay 0.05 cents, 5 cents per minute. So all this is going to be your conversations. This is going to be for you to have a phone with that company. So if you got a bill of $25.59, how much of it was the minutes that you were talking? Well, if you make that story, there's a variable m, which is being multiplied by 0.05, and then it's added 9.99. Going backwards, we're going to use the inverse operation, which is going to be minus 9.99, and then divide it by 0.05. So the first thing we do is this. Right? So we're going to remove the 9.99. I'm going to bring that down. It's going to be minus 10 is $15 and 0. What is this? 15 minus 9 is 6. 4 minus 9. Okay, that's right. And 15.6. So out of your total bill, you subtract $9.99. Your leftover is $15.60. This is how much you spent on talking. So divide this by 0.05. Divide this by 0.05. And the number of minutes that you spent talking this particular month. Thank God for unlimited plans nowadays. Oh my God. 15.6 divided by 0.05 equals. You spent 312 minutes on the phone. That's why you paid a total of $25.59. All right, and I can continue. I am going to continue. I'm going to do the other sheet. Let me just pause this for a sec. All right, so you did this in class, but I'm going to do it here. So what am I looking for? So in this first question, we're looking for the number of people that went to the movies. All right, so people. So I'm going to use the letter P as my variable. Any keywords that tells me what to do? Well, I know that the tickets cost $6.50 each, so that means multiplication to me. They also spent $17.50 on snacks, so that means that there's an addition there somewhere. Right. So I'll write my equation down here. $6.50 per person. I'm going to use P. And they spent $17.50 on food. And that all equals 63. So based on that, how many people went to the movies? We can do our little story if you like. And first thing we do is going to be minus $17.50 on this side, minus $17.50 on this side, and these goes away, so it's got 650p. That's going to be a 50. 12 minus 5 is 12 minus 7 is 5, and then 5 minus 1 is 4, so 45.50. And if you divide by 6.5, the number of people looks like, I'm going to say 7. It looks like 7, right? 45.5 divided by 6.5 equals 7, yeah? So how many people went to the movies? 7 people. And then you were supposed to reread the last sentence of the problem, write a sentence answering the question. So how many people went to the movies on Friday? 7 people went to the movies on Friday. That's what you would write. So this one is like that other problem is like from the first section. So he rented a motorcycle for $40 plus $5 per mile. I'm looking for how many miles. So I'm going to use M as my variable. There's a plus there. So that means addition to me. Per means multiplication, right? Sorry, I should have done that. Multiplication. Those two operations are in my two-step equation. So the total was 490. And what did that 490, where did that come from? Well, it came from the 5 cents per mile, per means, right? Plus the $40 that I pay them to rent the bike. And that's my equation. I'm going to do minus 40, minus 40. This goes away. 5m comes down. That becomes 450. Divided by 5, divided by 5. M equals 90. So how many miles did I ride on my bike? I rode 90 miles. Okay, so what am I looking for? Again, this one I'm looking for how many minutes, the number of minutes. That's what I'm looking for. All right, so I'm going to use M on my variable. Keywords. He can stuff 12 envelopes per minute. So that, again, 12 per minute is going to be multiplication, right? 12 per minute. And he already has having, so that it's going to be addition to me. So here's what my equation looks like. I need to stuff 1,000 envelopes. I need to know how many minutes it's going to take me. But guess what? I know I can stuff them at 12 envelopes per minute, so that's 12 times m, and that was my relationship here. Plus the fact that I already did 112, so I don't need to do 1,000. I already did 112. I can do a little bit less. So here's your story. M is being multiplied by 12 plus 112. So we're going to subtract 112 and then divide by 12. So let's do that. It's minus 112 minus 112. This goes away. 12m comes down, and that's going to give us 888. Is that right? 888. Now we're going to divide this by 12 and divide this by 12. And the number of minutes I have to work, if that's correct, is 888 divided by 12 looks like 74 minutes. Or an hour and 14 minutes. Okay. 4. Nick opens a savings account with $50. Each week he deposits 15. How many weeks will it take him for him to save $500? Okay, so he opens a savings account with 500. So with, to me, it's going to imply addition. He deposits each week. So here's another. Each week he deposits 15. So each week times 15. What am I looking for? I'm looking for weeks. I'm going to use W as my variable. So I needed my banking, my savings account to equal 500. Right? So in order to equal 500, I already have 50 bucks in it. So I don't really need to save 500. I need to save a little bit less, right? 450 actually. But how many weeks is going to take me to reach that goal? So, and I know that every week I put $15 per week inside my banking account. So how long does it take to reach 500? So that's my equation. Variable is W, it's times 15, plus 50, it's going to give me 500. Going backward, I'm going to do minus 50 and divide by 15. So those are the two steps I'm going to do. So let's do that. Minus 50 minus 50. That's 450. And then this is 15W. I divide now by 15 on both sides. And W is going to be equal to 30. I need 30 weeks of saving $15 per week in order to reach my goal of 500. Okay. All right, so Mrs. Hall has a balance of $450 in her bank account. She spends $15 each week on snacks for the after-school meetings. And Mr. Hall has 180 remaining in the account at the end of the semester. How many weeks are in the semester? Okay, so this one's a little bit different. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for the number of weeks that are in the semester. So again, weeks. So my variable is going to be W. She spends $15 each week. So spending is a minus, has a negative connotation to it, right? Because it's being taken away. So she has 450, and the total, the remaining in my bank account is going to be 180. So this one, my bank account is going to have $180 left. So what did I start with? So I started with 450, and every week I'm going to subtract a little bit. I'm going to take away $15 each week. How long can I do this until I reach 180? So that's what the question is asking. So let's see. I have W, which is being multiplied by negative 15, and then plus 450. Going backwards, I'm going to do minus 450, and then divide by negative 15. Those are the two operations I'm going to do. So, what is this? First thing I do is minus 450 here, minus 450 here. All right, please use the calculators. And we're going to get 450 minus that. We're going to get 270 negative. And then here we get negative 15W comes down. Then the second thing we do, we divide this by negative 15 and divide this by negative 15. These two cross out, and the negative becomes a positive 1. 1 times W is just W. And 270 divided by 15 equals 18. So how many weeks can I take $15 from my bank account until it reaches 180? I can do that for 18 weeks. 6. There's a swimming pool with 80,000 gallons on it that's being drained at a rate of 4,000 gallons per day. Again, what am I looking for? How many days? So I'm going to use D as my variable here. How many days has the pool been draining if the water level is at 68,000, sorry. So I know there's a multiplication here, right? There's a relationship per day, 4,000 gallons per day, so that's multiplication. So let's get, so here's, this one is like the previous problem. What's my total? My total is this. I have this much water in the pool right now. And what did I start with? I start with 80,000 gallons of water. And I'm going to subtract what's been draining. And every day it's been draining 4,000 gallons per day. Right? So every day we're losing 4,000 gallons. So how long has it passed? How many days has it been? Because right now the water level is 68,000. So has it been 2 days, 3 days? Well, every day we're losing 4,000, right? So again, if you want to do your story, variable is D. It's being multiplied by negative 4,000, and then added to 80,000. So that gives us 68. Going backwards, I'm going to do minus 80,000. And then I'm going to divide by negative 4,000. So what's that? Minus 80,000, right, over here. And minus 80,000 over here. That's going to give us negative 12,000 over here. That's going to go away, and minus 4,000. D. Now we have to divide both sides by negative 4,000, right? Divide by negative 4,000. Divide by negative 4,000. And that's simple enough. So D equals 3. Negative divided by negative is a positive, and 12,000 divided by 4,000, sorry, is 3. So it's been 3 days since the pool's been draining, okay? And that's why it went from 80,000 gallons to 68,000 gallons. $20 more than half a number is 70. What is a number? So this one's, you know, what you've been doing before. So 20 more, so the more means an addition. Half a number means division to me. What is that number? So what is a number? Number is what we're looking for, so we're going to use the letter N. 20. What's 20? 20 is this. More means more. Half of a number. How do we write half of a number? Here's a number, and here's half of a number. And equals 70. So that's my equation. I need a little bit more room. Can I move this up? Can I move this up? No. So can I? No, I'm gonna do this. 20 plus. Oh, I can't move it. All right. So let me just move it up a little bit. Just a little bit. No, bad spot. Over here, and over here. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is do our story. So if we do our story, we have a variable n, which is being currently divided by 2, and then plus 20. And that gives us 70. So the inverse operations I'm going to use is minus 20, and then times 2. So, minus 20 over here, minus 20 over here. That goes away. N plus 2 comes down, and 70 minus 20 is 50. The other thing I want to do is multiply both sides by 2. This times 2, and this times 2. Oh. Okay. These two will cross out, and n equals 100. So what's my number? Number is 100. And the last question. 5 less, again, so this, again, less to me. Again, we're looking for a number. Variable is going to be n. What's the operations? Well, I see a less than, so that means subtraction. But this I'm going to write to turn around. All right, so I don't remember. I don't forget to turn around. And twice, I see the word twice. So twice means to me multiplication. So let's do that. So let me write this. 5 is 5. Less than is subtraction. Twice a number is 2n. The word is equal, and 11, right? So remember what I said, we see the less than, we need to switch positions between these two terms. So the 2n is going to come first, and the 5 is going to switch up. Alexa, how much time left?
There are no timers set.
Oh boy. Hang on. Sorry, I had beans cooking. So the 5 and the 2n will switch places, right? The 11 stays here, so that's the equation we want to work with. Alright, so here's my variable n, which is being multiplied by 2, and then subtract 5. It's giving me 11. Going backwards, I'm going to do plus 5, and then I'm going to do divide by 2. So let's do that. Plus 5 here, plus 5 here. These two go away. 2n comes down. 11 plus 5 is 16. So the second thing I have to do now is divide by 2. I'm going to divide this side by 2 and this side by 2. And n equals 8. Notice that I didn't check any of these, only because I didn't want to make this video longer than it should be. Okay, but you can check on your own. And that's that.